In this video, I rig up a games console to my layout, and I lay down a car park. Hello everyone, and welcome back aboard the night train. Before we get going, I'm trying to get this channel up to 7,000 subscribers before the 10th anniversary in December this year. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing so. We're on about 6,800 at the time of recording, so we just need those final 200 people to click the button and then we hit our target. I'm planning to do a nostalgic deep dive into my modelling history, my old layouts, my old Thomas fan series, things like that. So if that all sounds interesting to you, alongside the modelling content and other various bits I'm going to be releasing over the next few months, then subscribing is definitely a wise choice to make. Anyway, back to today's video, and recently I finished the haunted house kit I've been working on in my recent modelling series. Now that's finished, another challenge awaits. I have plans to use a PlayStation 2 with a little Pokeball sticker on the layout, and that is because I'm going to try and do something that I've seen on other layouts, and that is to install a working outdoor cinema screen, or drive-in cinema, something of that variety, using PlayStation and an LCD car screen that I bought off of Amazon. As well as getting all of that to work so that I can play films and that on the layout, I also need to do the scenics around it as well to make it seem like a natural part of the miniature world that I'm building. So, let's see if I manage to get everything connected and working, and also how I decided to go about modelling it. My first job was to sort out the pavement atop which the cinema screen will sit. I used some concrete slab plasticard for this and cut out the sections through which the wires would pass. After double checking the position on the board, I glued both sections of plasticard down, along with another piece against the edge of the road. I then went about cutting out the slots for the wires. I drilled holes in the corners and then worked grooves to cut through with a craft knife and razor saw blade. I filed the edges, but then realised the plugs wouldn't quite fit, so I widened the hole and checked the screen's positioning. With that done, I painted the base layer in a light Humbrol acrylic grey. Then I applied a thin layer of lighter Revel Grey to fill the mortar cracks between the slabs. I wiped the surface clean of the excess with a cloth. Then I used the Humbrol weathering powder to weather up and shade the surface of the concrete slabs. I checked the area was covered by positioning the museum building, another future project. I then touched up the road surface where there were marks, and set about gluing my flexible dry stone walling into place. This is the same walling I used on my farmyard scene, foam based and produced by that model railway guy. To finish off the path, I glued some laser cut curbstone strips produced by scale model scenery along the edge. I then put the cinema screen back in position. It was time to detail the car park. I bought some waterslide decal car park markings from scale model scenery as well, and applied these over the surface. They were a bit fiddly, and sticking them was awkward as the surface of the car park was painted emery paper, but after repositioning and fettling I got them down as well as I could manage. I started with the disabled spaces, and then moved on to the white lining for regular spaces. I'd mapped these out with pencil to make sure they were all roughly the same width. I coated all the decals with some mark setter to help get everything flush and set. Then I followed this up with a matte layer of varnish to seal them all in place. I also added some lettering denoting a one-way system, as well as arrows and no parking zones. Finally, I added some laser cut drain holes and covers that I'd painted dark grey. Along the parking spaces flanking the road, I also installed some concrete bollards to make a light, strong barrier. The scene was nearly done. To imply structural support behind the cinema screen itself, I bought some bush scaffolding kits to build. These were relatively straightforward to cut out and slot together into the desired configuration. I cut out some paper to resemble tarpaulins to block the area behind the screen and close it off to the public. I painted the paper black first, glued them on with a glue stick, and then popped the scaffolds into position. With the screen arranged, I then set about organising an audience for a special screening. I got out an assortment of cars that are references to various films and TV shows. Let me know how many you recognise. I hooked up the PS2 and power beneath the board, and popped a disc into the tray and hit play. There we are, a simple yet effective little display for the layout. Currently on show is the 1954 original version of Godzilla. For if I ever display this layout at a public exhibition, I have a copy of 1925's The Lost World, which is in the public domain and can be used with rolling stock from Era 3 onwards. I can show any DVD though, such as a cheeky blue tank engine on a little big screen. The car park can also be used normally if I wanted to, but has ample space for a small crowd. Well, that was a fun little project, and another one to tick off of my to-do list / modelling bucket list. I have the rest of the road system to finish though, in terms of markings, curbstones, detailings, decals, all of that kind of thing. And then after that, I'll be focusing on sorting the station area and also that museum that I have long promised. I've not forgotten about it, I'm just waiting so that I can focus on it completely. I also have a few little curious and creative ideas on using that screen in future videos that I produce. So if that tickles your curiosity buds, then make sure you are subscribed to the channel to see what antics I decide to get up to with it. Until next time though, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Take care.